The recent gathering of NPB's 12 team managers, typically an event focused on rule adjustments and scheduling quirks, hosted a profound undercurrent, a shadow agenda that has been quietly festering at the core of Japanese baseball's relationship with Major League Baseball.
This agenda concerns the increasing prevalence of the U-turn athlete, players who utilize the posting system to achieve their MLB dream, only to return to Japan after a disappointingly brief tenure, often just a single season.
This practice, which several league insiders now describe as a structural flaw, has drawn the ire of club executives.
While the NPB system has always respected the path to the major leagues, the swift, often chaotic, return of these players causes massive disruptive headaches for Japanese franchises.
Attendee at the meeting means no words, stating that while players undoubtedly have their personal reasons for returning, from the perspective of the clubs that invested years in developing them, it's simply unacceptable.
The sentiment is one of betrayal. The club nurtures a star, grants the highly sought-after posting permission, a privilege, not a right, and in return, the player treats the MLB pursuit as a mere trial run, abandoning the endeavor quickly, sometimes even opting to sign with a rival MPB team upon repatriation.
The frustration is boiling over into calls for immediate and stringent regulatory overhaul. The core demand is for commitment. If a player insists on their right to pursue the MLB via posting, they must also shoulder the commensurate responsibility and risk.
Proposals are varied but share a common goal: protecting the structural integrity of the NPB.
One of the most severe suggestions is to implement a rule stating that a player who uses the posting system to jump to MLB must face a mandatory minimum ban, perhaps 3 years, before being eligible to return to the Japanese league.
This cooling-off period is designed to ensure players approach the move with genuine, long-term conviction, rather than treating the American League as a temporary proving ground. Furthermore, there is a push to implement rules regarding the return destination. Many in the front office community believe that if a player returns prematurely, they should be mandated to sign exclusively with their original NPB club. If a player invokes the posting clause, the original team bears the financial burden and the competitive void created by their departure.
To allow them to return quickly and auction themselves off to the highest bidder, potentially joining a rival, is seen as compounding the injury.
It is crucial, however, to differentiate between players utilizing the posting system and those who achieve international free agency.
As one executive noted, players who leave via legitimate IFA have simply exercised their earned rights, and their return is a standard negotiation subject to market forces.
But the posting system, which requires club cooperation, demands stricter accountability.
If we fail to establish these hardline rules, the NPB risks devolving into a perpetual feeder system, constantly vulnerable to players who capitalize on the posting mechanism for a quick payday or a low-stakes MLB audition.
However, mandating a return to the original club introduces its own complexities. For the player, there is the immediate salary negotiation issue.
Currently, any team can bid on a returning player, driving up the price reflective of their talent and potential.
If competition is removed, will the original club offer a salary truly commensurate with the player's ability?
There is a deep-seated fear that without a competitive bidding war, returning players will be undervalued.
More importantly, there is the organizational difficulty for the club itself.
When a star leaves via posting, the club immediately scrambles to fill that void, usually by investing significant capital in foreign imports or by fast-tracking younger prospects into the rotation.
By the time the former star decides to return after just 1 year, the club may no longer genuinely need them.
Shedda, the roster spot is filled, the budget is allocated, and the returning player, ironically, becomes an expensive and unwanted complication. A case of thank you, but no thank you.
This highlights the dual responsibility involved. While players must commit, clubs and fans also need a reality check.
Skeda. The NPB must address the willingness of teams to grant posting approval too easily, often driven by fan pressure or an overly optimistic assessment of the player's MLB readiness. When posting is granted to players who might not yet be at the requisite level for sustained success abroad, the club itself is opening the door for this quick U-turn scenario.
Ultimately, the NPB must act swiftly. Whether the solution involves a 3-year minimum ban or ironclad priority rise for the original team, the current structure is failing.
The use of player agents, as seen in successful repatriation cases like Arihara, must be encouraged to ensure fair negotiation and career guidance. But the fundamental rules of engagement, the line between a serious MLB leap and a short-term gamble, must be clearly and aggressively defined to safeguard the integrity of Japanese baseball for the 2026 season and beyond.